Ms. Martinez, you say your family is torn apart since the defendant has denied both of your children, 4-year-old Richard II and 3-year-old Renee. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove the truth and hope that the results will save your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, you say you were suckered into claiming the plaintiff's 2 children and can't trust anything she's said. You're currently behind more than $6,000 in child support and refuse to care for either child until it is proven that you are their biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Hernandez, what has he done for the children?
Absolutely nothing until about 3 weeks ago. He did get them at least $200 worth of clothing, but other than that, that's all he's done their whole life.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I've tried to do as much as I possibly can since the beginning, since day one.
No, he hasn't, Your Honor.
And so how is this affecting the kids?
My kids suffer. I mean, every night when I put them to bed, they cry asking where he's at. He doesn't call to check on them, to even get them on the phone and say, can I talk to them? Can I see how they're doing?
That's a lie, Your Honor.
He does nothing.
I try as much as I can, but it's hard to try to do that when I don't know if they're mine for sure.
But what I don't get is if he's denying them, he's stuck around. You know, he keeps coming back for them. He keeps trying to be in their life. If that was a problem, he should have tried to figure out things a long time ago.
So obviously the relationship is in trouble. How did this start?
We first met, she was trying to get all over me or whatever from the beginning, but I ignored her.
Were you interested in having a relationship with him at that point?
Relations, but not a relationship.
Okay. And what were your intentions, Mr. Hernandez?
It started getting serious. I mean, well, I felt like it was, and I don't know, I wanted to be with her. All of a sudden, I find out she's doing other things with my friends and stuff.
Doing other things like?
It's one incident he's talking about, Your Honor. It was a one-time thing. Me and his friend had messed around.
See? You see the stuff that I'm...
Wow. All right, so you stayed with her?
Yes. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I mean,
and
it's
he
been
can't
so long
say that
now.
because even prior to that, I was always told him I didn't want to be in a relationship. He forced it. He was always like, come on, please be with me. I don't know why you don't want to be with me.
That's
and I
a
told him
lie.
I wanted to be single because I wasn't ready to be tied down with one person. So every time I would have,
That's a
relations
lie.
with other people, I would tell him.
She sleeps with men.
I would tell him
friends,
and I
Your
would
Honor.
say, hey, I did have sex with somebody the night before or whatever. And he would just sit there and he'd be like, I still love you. I still want to be with you. That's on him. That's not me.
She says the ball was in your court and you picked it up and
kept dribbling.
I felt like it was something else. Other than that, I didn't...
It sounds like she's being brutally honest with you throughout this, but you're not wanting to hear it.
Exactly.
If she didn't want to be with me, she didn't like me, well, why would she still come to my house?
I did have feelings for him,
2-hour
but
drive
I was not
on the
ready
bus
to be
for
committed.
what?
I liked hanging out with him. He was more like my best friend when I was going through a lot of things, and he was kind of like the sunshine to like my storm. So it was kind of like I liked his energy. I liked to be around him, but he wanted more than what I wanted and what I was ready for.
Whether it was with his friends or it was someone else, I mean, you're admitting you didn't want to be committed. We ultimately are here in paternity court. So obviously, something happened.
Okay, let me tell you about that, Your Honor. We were still on and off, right? I called her and she's like, I'm with this person, which is my friend. And I was like, okay. Next day I talked to her, she's like, okay, yeah, I did have intercourse with this man. I forgave her. And a few weeks later, she finds out she's pregnant.
Is that true, Ms. Martinez? Were you intimate with another man a few weeks before you told him you were pregnant?
Yes, I did have intercourse with him 3 times and unprotected that night. And I told him about it. He still wanted to be with me.
She lied about it.
I did tell him that we did it protected. I did at the time.
I mean, why are you having all this unprotected sex?
I would say...
No. We're gonna be respectful in this courtroom.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Please don't get on my nerves.
You were still with me, right? Other than what I just told you right now about having intercourse, I wasn't having unprotected sex with everybody. Yes, that time I did. It was in the heat of the moment. Everything was right. He didn't have protection. One thing led to another, and it did happen.
5 weeks after that incident, and then she's pregnant.
The only reason why I know without a doubt that he's the father is because I did have intercourse with him unprotected, and it was on the day that they said that the conception was.
Okay, we went to the doctor's office and they gave us that conception wheel.
Stayed up all night obsessing over it.
Looking at the wheel all night, right?
Does it match up with the birth now?
Yes. But I had they had induced me. I wasn't ready to be into labor. They induced me on my due
Which
date.
gives me doubts
And
about
then
that,
I
too.
had to have an emergency C-section right after.
In your mind, you say this is his child.
Yes.
In your mind, Mr. Hernandez, you're saying, I'm thinking back to a few weeks before that when she admitted to me she was intimate with somebody else.
Yes.
And I'm also thinking about the fact that this birth, this date has been induced. It's not the natural birth date.
Yes.
And so you've got all these factors going in your mind, like maybe this could be off.
Yes, Your Honor. And I stayed up all night looking at it, and it just added up to where it was going to be exactly to around that time with that other man.
That really messed with your mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she ever tell you that Richard was not your son?
One day, Your Honor, she just told me, she said, Richard's not yours. And I said, what? And then she was like, yeah, he's not yours.
And it was a heat of the moment because at the time I was actually going into emergency surgery to have my gallbladder removed. It took him 2 hours to get back to the hospital. Well, come to find out, he was with his friends, picked up two
hours.
girls at a bus stop
And I had time to go
smoked
home
with
and-
them while he's in my car while I'm about to have surgery.
Is that true, Mr. Hernandez?
No, Your Honor, that's a lie.
So it's not. You told me it was the truth.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, you lying.
Thank you. Thank
Let's
you.
just get that straight.
Thank
You
you.
lying now. That didn't happen that way. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So you didn't show back up to the hospital in time. You got angry.
And I said, that's why you're not the father.
But once she said that, Mr. Hernandez, then all your bells start ringing.
Yes.
But see, Your Honor, I don't see how he
it
can
pushed me
say
to
that.
the point where I didn't even want to be there for her no more. At the surgery, I didn't want to see my son anymore. I didn't want to be with her. I
Your
didn't want
Honor,
to be there
he
around
does
them.
this flip-flop every other day. He's begging for his family one day, and then he doesn't want to be here. When he wants to go get messed up with his friends, and then when he's done having his fun, that's when he wants to be a family again. And it bothered him so much. Why would you name the child number 2?
Why would you name the child after
Why would you sign the birth
Because at
certificate?
the time,
And you signed the birth certificate.
yes, Your Honor.
For both of my kids that he denies.
Do you have any evidence that reflects?
Yes, I do,
this?
Your Honor.
I'd like to see it. Ron, will you please hand me this paperwork? This is what?
The birth certificate.
This is the birth certificate for Richard Anthony Hernandez II.
Yes.
Under father's name, Richard Anthony Hernandez.
Well, that at the time was, Your Honor, because I felt like he was mine at the time, and I loved him very much, and it didn't matter because I loved her that much that
But, Your Honor, they did offer him a free DNA test at the hospital, and he signed right saying he refused the DNA test.
Did you sign the birth certificate because you really thought this child was yours, or did you sign the birth certificate because you didn't want to disappoint Ms. Martinez? Because it seems like you really wanted a relationship with her.
I did it for both reasons. I did not want to
Regardless
upset
if
her.
he wanted to be a family and he's saying all this stuff, my kids are suffering. My kids, he takes them a bath and he sits there and critiques every little thing about them. My kids don't deserve that.
Critiques
Say,
how?
The way that they drink a bottle is the way that his homeboys or his friends drink a bottle.
Well, I know
or,
one of
no,
my
hold
friends-
on, wait.
sorry.
Let me go ahead and finish. The way their eyebrows, when they're wet, it looks like his friends' eyebrows.
What does that have to do anything?
Exactly.
You think she slept with your friends?
Yes, Your Honor. Most
And now
of
the
them.
kids look like them.
Yes,
They
Your Honor.
look
Every time
like
I see them,
everybody.
there's something different about them every single day.
Kids change every day.
I understand that.
Your doubt is getting the best of you at this point. You are truly
Exactly.
doubting it because the truth is you doubted it before the baby was even born.
Okay.
But you tried to stay around, and now as you look at these children as they change, you start saying these features attribute to someone else
Yes.
instead of you.
There's
Ms.
facts
Martinez,
of
how does
what-
this affect these
the way
kids? This
she's
is what
acting.
I'm worried about.
Does
Does he say this out loud?
Yes, he tells them to their face that, oh, you want to go see your father, and he'll say his friend's name, or he'll say, he'll point at some random person and say, there's your dad.
Oh,
and
no,
stuff
no,
like that.
no.
My kids don't
Is
deserve
that true?
I didn't say none of that. I told her when we went to the room.
Your
we went
Honor,
to
in
sleep.
the hotel last night, he even said, you want to go with your father? And he said, the alleged person that I also had right in the time.
To the child?
To my child.
If you want to get specific, she asked him that.
These children are 3 and 4 years old.
Tink you.
You all better not be having these
I don't.
conversations in front of a child. I'm serious. That is wrong. That is wrong as the day is long. That's not right. I don't care what your doubts are. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You have a right to have some.
And I told him if he had
But
doubt,
you do not have a right to subject a child to them. That is unacceptable.
Yes, ma'am.
That's shameful.
But it's not just me, Your Honor.
I'm talking to both of them.
It goes both ways, I understand.
I'm talking to both of them.
Okay.
He has so many doubts, but when it's time for me to say, hey, you got paid on Friday, I need some diapers for the kids. I need this for the kids.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
He doesn't do nothing.
Every time she
but
call
he
me,
sure
I
has
can
beer,
get it
he
for
sure
her.
has cigarettes, he sure has what he needs.
See, what I'm seeing with the both of you is a pattern is forming. Both of you all know how to push the other one's buttons and know how to manipulate the other one to get what you want. I mean, this is just painfully clear to me. Because you all playing games up in here. Because you so consumed with doubt that you are downgrading and talking about children in their face, but you still laid up with their mother.
Okay, Your Honor. Well, with our second son, we were at the hospital. The man that she named after him, just all of a sudden, as soon as he's born, called me and says, hey, I'm outside. And I was like, whoa, how did this man even call me right now? I haven't spoke to him in months. Why would he even call me? And why would he even be outside? I get down there, I'm talking to him. He wants to come upstairs and, hey, can I see your son? Well, you didn't do this with my first son. Why would you want to come over here and see my son?
And so for you, that meant, here we go again.
Yes.
Why he did that? I don't know.
It was 8 o'clock in the morning when my son's
once
born.
again, I'm talking.
8:30.
He didn't sign the birth certificate till after his friend left. So once again, if there's all this doubt, why did you sign it again?
So you signed the birth certificate again?
Yes.
After
For
his
the
friend
second
left.
child?
Yes.
What are you thinking? You're
lie.
already $6,000 behind in
Yes,
child
Your Honor, and
support,
I have paperwork from that.
and they might not even be yours. Send me that
Yes, Your
paperwork, Ron. This is just getting ridiculous. All this doubt, and signing birth certificates. $6,336.96 in debt for child support right now.
Yes.
And these arrears, they just keep growing.
I had to work 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs. Never got to see my kids because he didn't want to step up as a father. So my kids are losing out not only as a father, but a mother too. Hey,
And you don't participate at all.
Well,
But you sign birth certificates.
Yes.
And then you voluntarily don't participate.
I do
So
participate.
you're in arrears in more ways than one.
When she asks of it, I will do it. But most of the time, she doesn't even call me and ask me and say, hey, I need this or
She
that.
shouldn't have to call you.
thank you.
You signed the birth certificate. See, Mr. Hernandez, this is why I'm being tough on you. Because once you got into that hospital room and decided, you made a conscious decision.
But it's because
Just
I have
don't
doubt.
stop talking when I'm talking. I see through this entire situation. You love this girl. You want to be with this girl. You always have.
Yes, Your Honor.
But she's just in and out and all about. Like I said, she operates from her own zone. You know, this is the reverse, Ron, of what I see often. You see women try to come into a courtroom and have a man's baby to trap him. You got up in this hospital and tried to sign these birth certificates so you could be in her life. Now you in it. But now you want to doubt. You don't want to show up for the kids. You guys want to have these bad mouth discussions and downgrade children in their faces, and it's not right. And that's why I'm being tough on you, because these kids are suffering because of this. You have every reason to doubt, but you defied your own doubt. You did it. Make your bed, lie in it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And the way you two are going at it right now, I can see neither one of you done with the other one. So I don't want to see you in here again, going through this again. I'm ready for the results. Ron?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We have 2 results. The results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. The first result relates to 3-year-old Renee. In the case of Martinez versus Hernandez, as it pertains to 3-year-old Renee Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, you are his father. Moving on. In this particular case, your doubt was really about the fact that she had this one-night stand with the person you knew.
Yes, Your Honor.
In the case of Martinez versus Hernandez, when it comes to 4-year-old Richard Hernandez II, it has been determined by this court. When it comes to 4-year-old Richard Hernandez II, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hernandez, you are his father. So you are the legal father and the biological father.
Like I said.
of both boys.
So can you step up now?
I can.
What I've heard in this courtroom through this testimony as to what has been said and what has transpired in front of these children is shameful. It's deplorable. It's not right. You all got to end this because now you've brought 2 lives into the world. Look at them. And you all on this immature nonsense, and they trying to grow up and be healthy, happy children, and you all are poisoning their minds. You don't give grown folks nonsense to kids. We have counseling for both of you. I want you to take advantage of it. Be honest. I will give you this, Ms. Martinez. You done come in here and said a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of women would not have admitted to. And Mr. Hernandez, we've had to get down to the bottom of your need to please this woman and your need to have her in your life. As you can see, that can go in the wrong direction. Ms. Love and Ms. Willis, now you're suing the defendant Karen Williams for $5,000 for defamation of character. You say she's destroyed your family name by claiming your father cheated on your mother with her, and this affair produced her daughter, Stephanie.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who you say is not your father's daughter.
Yes, Your Honor. No.
Now, the court has ordered a DNA test, and the results will be revealed shortly. Ms. Karen Williams, you say you haven't defamed anyone's character.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you've told the truth about the affair, and the results of today's paternity test will clear your name.
Yes, Your Honor.
And identify your daughter's father. Ms. Love, after all these years, why do you finally bring the defendants to court today?
Because I'm tired of Miss Karen Williams going around town telling people that my father fathered her child.
And so how long has this been going on?
I'm 35, so about 30 years.
30 years. All this time.
All this time.
And you're just coming to court today.
Yes.
So take me back. This is a claim for defamation of character.
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you believe she's defamed your character?
From the time I was about 6 years old, this been going on with Miss Karen. She done followed us in stores, workplaces.
Jobs, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And what does she say when she follows you?
Accusing, Miss Stephanie,
This
say
is
hi
your
to your
father,
sister.
this is your sisters.
Say hi to your big sister. We ain't her sister.
We not related to her. She don't even look like us. And I got proof she not.
So you say for 30 years people been following you saying
that she is my father's daughter, and she's not.
Ms. Williams, have
Your
you been following them around saying?
No, Your Honor. I do not know them. I met them in '94. What I've told is true, and this is his daughter.
So you saying in 1994 is the first time you laid eyes on them?
Yes.
So when you were involved with their father, did you know he was involved with their mother?
No.
You
No,
didn't?
I didn't.
Yes, she did.
So-
She lying.
No, I didn't even know he was married at the time I was involved with him.
So you didn't know? So Ms. Williams, this is your daughter.
Yes.
Ms. Williams, how old are you?
I'm 34.
And Ms. Love, how old are you?
35.
And Ms. Willis, how old are you?
33.
Oh. Smack dab in the middle. How long did this relationship last?
Last, I'll say about a year.
About a year or so. And you felt you all were exclusive. You were only
Yes,
sleeping
Your
with him?
Yes,
No.
Your Honor. I thought I had someone. I was in love with him.
So when you found out you were pregnant, you told him?
I told him.
And what happened?
And he came and picked me up, and we talked about it. And he did not say he wasn't the father. He just said that, that congratulations to me,
To you?
to me.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it be
Because
to
he
us,
wasn't the
Jerome?
father. He's
Yeah.
not the father.
And
don't sound
I
like
also
somebody
have, Your Honor,
claiming
evidence
somebody
that he wrote in my yearbook we was together
You do?
3 days before his birthday.
Let me see that evidence she's pointing to. So this is what, Ms. Williams, your...
Mr. Willis wrote to me.
We need to see right.
That ain't his hand.
Oh,
I bet you it's not his hand right.
it's making sure we're gonna be together forever because I'll always love you for you and only you.
My daddy don't even talk
Just
like
be mine forever.
that. My father has never talked like that to a woman.
Your Honor, he loved me and I loved him.
He just signed it, Love Baby, though.
Exactly.
His name is at the top.
Jerome,
The-
please show this to the plaintiffs and see if this
The name
looks
is at
like
the
their
top.
father's handwriting.
Where?
That whole page.
His name is at the top, Your Honor, under the sticky note.
My
It says
daddy don't
Andre
write like
Willis.
this.
That is not my daddy's
That's not
handwriting.
his signature either.
His signature at all.
And there's only one other person that can duplicate his handwriting exactly like
And that's
he can.
our mother. That's not his handwriting.
At all.
So, Miss Stephanie Williams, I want to talk to you. What do you remember from your childhood? Were you ever told who your father was? Did you believe all your life it was this man?
I was told by my father who my father was. He came to my house.
Yes.
I was about 7 or 8, and he explained to me who he was. He was my father. He gave me his phone number. I mean, reluctantly, my mother didn't want me to call because when I did call, I was cursed out by, I don't know, I'm assuming it was their mother. B, don't call here anymore. He's not your father. I was 7 to 8 years old. I mean,
Wait a
I
minute.
was hurt by
so
that.
you called the phone number your father, which
Gave me.
their father,
Yes.
gave you.
Yes.
You 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
Your Honor, can I
And
speak,
when you
please?
call an adult
Answer-
curses you out?
Yes. Why did he come and give me the phone number? Why did he explain to me he's my father?
Did you ever hear anything about this phone call, Ms. Love or
ma'am.
Ms. Willis?
No, they put him on child support. The blood test, DNA test had already been done.
Wait, there
before.
was a DNA
nothing about
test.
that.
Wait, explain this to me.
So when he was a truck driver, my dad didn't see his checks from him. They was direct deposit to the bank account. My mom did the balance of the banks and statements and all that. So when she noticed was money being taken out for child support, my dad went to find out what was going on. So when he found out it was child support for Miss Stephanie, he wanted to have a blood test done.
I do not know anything of child support.
You never received the assistance from the state?
No.
And you never received the child support?
No.
I was cut off of assistance when my test was taken, my tournament test was taken.
What didn't you do?
When I went there, they couldn't verify that he had been there. They told me to just do what I need to do. My daughter got scared. She threw up on me when they took the blood. So we had to catch the bus back home.
So your concern is because you went to the facility, the
Yes,
testing
ma'am.
facility,
Yes, Your Honor.
but you never laid eyes on him. He was not present.
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you think happened?
About 85, he came over in the summertime, him and a family member. And they were laughing and talking. And one family member said, "That's my baby." And I said, "Oh, maybe someone else took the test."
No,
Did you ever hear anything like that,
No.
Miss
No.
Love or Miss Willis?
no. She said my father didn't show up for the test, but he did.
Did you ever receive a paternity test result that said he was not
Yes.
determined to be
Yes.
the biological father?
No.
Yes, we both seen the results.
You saw them.
We had a family meeting to see the result because it was going on for so long that my dad sat us down in a family meeting with me, my sister, and my mom to discuss what was going on and why this was going on.
All right. So, Stephanie,
Yes.
you are convinced he's your father.
I'm convinced because my mother has no reason to lie to me. And he came himself to me and explained that he was my father.
Never
So
lie. My father didn't even like
I know
or
what
saying
was
that.
said to me and where it
If
was
he was
said
your
and when it
father,
was
He
he
never
would've
liked
been
to be
there
in the
for you.
same
He-
place
right, he
around
couldn't
them.
even-
How
telling
often did you
himself.
see him after this conversation?
Never.
I might have saw him one more time when I finally worked up the nerve and I found out he was back in Michigan. I tried to get my cousin to go with me to knock on his door. Well, lo and behold, news come on, he was shot and killed before I even had a chance to get
Your Honor, that was
any
4
other
years
answer.
ago.
I'm here to find out.
I
That's
wanna-
why it's so important
But
to
you
me.
wasn't at
I
his
wanna
funeral.
say
You wasn't there when he
something,
got killed.
On that
You ain't
behalf, Your Honor,
You
I
ain't been
felt
there
the
this whole
funeral
time.
was not a time for me to come and say
You should've been
I'm a
came
part.
around.
I'm not
You should've
messy.
been came
I'm not
around.
ghetto.
You should've
I'm
been
gonna
came
let
around.
you
You
guys
should've
have
been
your
came
grievance.
around.
I'm gonna let you guys have
You desperate now?
He was in
It's
their
30
life.
some
He
years,
was not
but you
in my
desperate
life.
now.
So
You ain't your mama
let's
desperate
bring it
now.
down a notch.
Your Honor, it was a woman pregnant before my father got killed. Do you know she was there? No matter if me and that.
So
woman
now
got
your
into it.
point is, if this really was your father,
Should have been.
she would have
been
showed
there.
up at the funeral.
Yeah. And
But it
my
seems
father
like
would've
she's
had her
darned
around.
if she does and she's darned if she doesn't.
Can I present you with evidence that I feel?
I
that
have
What
Why
evidence did
she
you
don't
bring,
look
Ms.
like
Williams?
this? I brought-
I'd like to see that.
I brought evidence that it's a picture, Your Honor.
Thank you, Jerome.
It's a picture of me and Deandra, Your Honor. And
And you believe you resemble one another.
yes.
No.
Throughout my whole life, Your Honor, people approach me and ask me, do you have a sister that lives in Beecher? Do you have a sister that lives in Beecher? All my life, I've gotten this.
So you believe throughout the years there have been different instances that point to it being true.
Yes, ma'am. 34 years, I would not be here right now if I didn't wholeheartedly, passionately feel like this is my father.
At this time, the court would like to call a witness. Mr. Andre Banks. Jerome, would you please escort him into the courtroom, please?
Mr. Banks, come with me.
Sorry.
Maybe go up to the witness stand next to the judge. Have a seat.
Mr. Banks, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Of course, we've been here discussing with Ms. Willis, Ms. Love, your sisters, the fact that Ms. Stephanie Williams contends that she's also one of your siblings and that you share father. Do you believe that to be true?
I mean, we talking about my dad. He was Rolling Stone. It's a possibility.
You're saying to this court that your father slept around
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Yes, I'm not the only one.
So, Miss Love and Miss Willis, you hear your brother saying these things about your father.
Yes.
Did you know any of these things?
Yes.
So why am I?
But when it came to his
Your
children,
Honor, why is it such a,
no. When it came to his children,
Why is it
or
so
claiming
impossible
kids,
I'm
or
not the
making kids,
child?
we all grew up together. We might have had different mothers, but we all grew up together.
So your point is, we have a different mother from him. My father claimed all of us. We were all raised to be family. If he truly believed Miss Williams was his daughter too, why wouldn't she be included? That's what your point is. You're following your father's lead on the situation.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, I understand where they're coming from. I mean, you all have different mothers. You're still raised as family. Why do you feel Miss Williams was included if you feel like it's a possibility that she's your sister?
I wasn't around when all this happened, but it's a real good possibility because my father was a ladies' man. He got around. From me and my father being around each other, especially when we made the ride from Texas to California, he always told me that it was also another child out there, himself.
He told you this?
I was only 13 at the time. I didn't think nothing of it. And then my auntie always told me, especially after he passed, that it was 2 more siblings out there that I need to find.
Oh, and she encouraged you to find these siblings?
My dad asked me to put his family back together before me and him had our last argument before he died.
So that was your last conversation with your father, is he asked you,
yes, ma'am,
please put the entire family together.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
One thing about that fact is the children that are supposed to be out there are younger than me. I am the baby. There's nobody between these two or between us two. I am the baby, and the other ones are supposed to be under me, and they not even around. They mamas ain't popping up. Her mama been doing this for 30-some years, just like my brother.
So, Miss Williams, what do you have to add to this, Mom?
Your Honor, I wanted to say, through all the confusion, I did not know his children, and I'm not here for his children. I'm here for my daughter.
That ain't my
because
father's.
I didn't grow up with the single-parent life. My mother and father are still together.
You shouldn't mislead
And
me.
I want the closure for my daughter to let her know that her mother knows who her father is.
Her mama know who her daddy is.
There are no other possible fathers.
No, Your Honor.
None.
No, Your Honor.
And this has been the same story she's explained to me throughout my childhood that gave me to this day the fight to come here and say this is my father. Whether it is or it isn't, I'm here today to get closure.
Why it take this long? Why you ain't do the blood test before he died?
Well, you know what? We can do this all day long.
Yes, we can.
I'm sitting in the middle of you, literally, and I also understand that you all will not come to a middle ground at all unless we get you the truth. Jerome, I think it's time for the results. Now, let me explain to you how the lab was able to test. Since your father is deceased, with permission from the next of kin, we were able to collect a blood card. Now, that's blood that's been collected and stored from the deceased by the Genesee County Coroner's Office. So we have that DNA sample. We were able to test it. And I have your results here. Are you ready?
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Yes.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Love, Willis versus Williams, when it comes to 34-year-old Stephanie Williams as to whether the deceased Andre Willis was her biological father, it has been determined by this court. Ms. Stephanie Williams, Mr. Andre Willis was not your father.
I told you. So your mama lied to you for 34 years. What you gonna say to her now?
Now you could. Now
Like
you
that,
can.
now.
Yes,
Let's
Your Honor.
first get some control. And before Ms. Willis and Ms. Love, before you plan your celebration, if you take a look across the aisle, I think there is room for a level of compassion. You all were blessed to know who your father was. This young lady is only going off of what she was told. And quite frankly, Ms. Williams' mom, there had to be somebody else.
Yes.
And she said her
Can
mother
you
lied to her.
recall who, in fact, her father is?
No, Your Honor, because of the situation I went through, that's who I was with at the time.
Well, that obviously was not the case. Now, whether you want to admit it in open court is your business. But I think you have some explaining to do to your daughter. And as it pertains to your defamation suit, you claim the defendants ran around town harassing you, saying things about your father. What I don't believe you've shown to this court is that you suffered any real injury because of that. So therefore, I have to deny your claim. We wish you all the best of luck. Court is adjourned. Ms. Haysbert, you are suing the father of your 6-month-old son for a paternity test. You claim the defendant, Mr. Howard, has never financially supported baby Ricardo Jr.
Yes.
You also state that he once led you to believe that he wanted to marry you and even asked you to have his baby.
Yes.
But once you were actually pregnant, you say he abandoned you and has since fathered another baby who is only 2 weeks older than your child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Howard, you argue that Ms. Haysbert told you that Ricardo Jr. was not your son and therefore is not your responsibility.
Yes.
You are countersuing for $1,000 in damages for a ring Ms. Howard pawned that was given to you by your late grandmother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Haysbert, please tell me how your relationship began.
I met this clown at the Washington Redskins Stadium when we used to work together.
1 second. Let's use respectful language.
We were co-workers, and then after that, we became friends. Like, we used to chill with each other outside of work. It was to the point, like, when something was wrong, he came to me. After that, you know, we started having sex, and we got drunk. And so, yeah, we got drunk and had sex, and that's how I conceived my son.
Got drunk and had sex?
After that, like, I knew he had a girlfriend, and, you know, I didn't mind because we were just friends. Then it came to the point where he told me, because when she was pregnant, when, you know, we first started hanging out, and she had a miscarriage. So he told me that
I had a girlfriend. You
so
knew I had a girlfriend.
Look, Kiana, you told me what's your girlfriend.
You know what you wanted.
Anyway, Kiana was the girlfriend, and then he told me they broke up. So he was saying how he wanted to marry me, how he wanted me to have his son.
Marry you?
So he didn't mind. He wanted to be in the relationship.
This girl is crazy.
So once I got pregnant, and I told him I was pregnant, he acted like he won the lottery. He was so excited. Oh, Junior. Oh, I can't wait for you to have my son. He was so excited.
Where the money at? Where's the money at if I won the lottery?
As soon as my 5th or 6th month of pregnancy, he wanted to change up the tables. He wasn't there. He didn't even come to the doctor's appointments.
At about 6 months.
She's alive.
Yes, and that's when the girlfriend started calling my phone, telling me, oh, they're still together, that he never broke up with her, that he lied, basically, that she lived with him. That they lived together. So I was like, okay, well, he's telling me y'all been broke up.
You're lying in court. I really can't believe that you're lying in court.
When she called me, she asked me, oh, when did we start dating? And we were pregnant around the same time. So she was asking,
Really?
Yes, pregnant around the same time. His daughter was born December 27th.
This is a good moment that I think I want to hear from Mr. Howard now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Because I have to say something.
Yes.
You know.
I want to know, first off, did you get 2 girls pregnant at the same time?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. But I didn't mean to. That's the only thing I can really say. But it happened. But at the same time, she did call me a clown. I want to respect your court, but she looking like one. Like for real.
But she meant, let's be respectful.
I am being respectful,
Because
but she can't
the
talk.
only person you are are making commentary about is yourself, because you just admitted that you slept with her. So it was obviously something about
you wanted this. So what are you saying?
I ain't put no gun in your head. I ain't put no gun in your head.
You found out she was pregnant.
Yes.
When? How? She told you? She called you?
Yeah, she said, I'm pregnant. I said, oh, you is? I said, damn. So I said,
Mr. Howard, you in the court.
I apologize, man. I was like, oh, you pregnant? Okay. And she was like, well, what you gonna do? I said, I'm a man up. I'm a man about mine. I'm gonna take care of it. I don't know why she lying in court, but she knows that I'm a good guy. I didn't try to do all types of things. I didn't try to take care of my son, ask for a DNA test.
No, he didn't.
She didn't want to give me a DNA test.
Okay. So now I'm trying to understand your point. She told you she was pregnant.
Yes.
You said, if it's mine, I'm gonna man up.
Yes.
But at some point, you said to yourself, this is important that I get a DNA test.
Yes.
Because you don't feel like you two were in a committed relationship when this happened. You felt like this could potentially be someone else's child as well.
She was bouncing around.
I wasn't bouncing. I was only with you. That's you. You were sleeping with me and Kiana at the same time. You had to lie and say that you weren't with her in order for you to even talk to me. Yes, you lied.
Why did I have to
You
lie?
told me that you weren't with her anymore. But yet she was calling your phone, blowing up your phone. You said, I'm only going to be there for the baby. That's why I'm talking to her for the baby. You told me that your daughter wasn't yours because she was sleeping around on you. You told me you didn't even know if the daughter was yours.
God.
But now you're claiming her. You do more for her than you do for my son.
My daughter look just like me. What are you talking about?
So what? She look.
I was dealing with a lot of stuff with this female, Your Honor. And this all I hear.
Because you're not doing anything. You're going to keep parenting.
If I'm not doing anything, I didn't try to back plan.
Let's get some order. Now, we're going to hear from Ms. Lynch in a moment. That's Kiana. We're going to hear from her in a moment. Ms. Hayward, Mr. Howard contends that once you told him you were pregnant, he asked you for a DNA test.
No, he didn't. He was happy because when I found out I was pregnant, first I took a home pregnancy test.
Okay.
And I sent him the picture of the results. After that...
And you say he was happy about it?
Yes.
She said like
he came over my house. He used to rub my belly and tell my son, and while he was in my stomach, oh, I will never leave you. I will always take care of you. I'm going to always be here for you. But he's lying because he hasn't been there at all.
You crazy. I've been buying this stuff and you've been pushing nothing but stuff away.
First of all, you gave my son hand-me-downs. Do you think he's about to wear
What's
that?
a hand-me-down?
I bought my son stuff. I've been buying him stuff.
Why would I give my son hand-me-downs? You crazy.
You bought him hand-me-downs.
She crazy,
the
Judge. I would never buy my son no hand-me-downs.
After he says that he would step up to the plate, you're saying he actually denied your son.
He did. He want to play around since he want to act like he my dad. Tell me something. Let's go get Dana. Let's go to the clinic to see who the baby is. And let me tell you, he said that he never told me he loved me. Want a relationship? Here you go, right here, Your Honor. He told me he loved me. He don't want to lose
Jerome, will
me.
you hand me that?
So, you know.
what is that you have in your hand?
How he was telling me how I'm his life. You know, when we was together, he said he loved me. He used to always say, till death do us part when he gave me that ring.
That's because I was, I didn't give you nothing. You stole it. You stole it. You was a liar. You was a liar up in this courtroom. But that's all you doing is lying in this courtroom.
Order in the court. Now, are these the kind of text messages you send to women that are just your friend? Love you, babe. Kiss my son for me.
Kiss my son for me.
You're acknowledging him. How you going to deny him, then acknowledge him? What? Thank you very much.
Okay, since we got so much about my son, since you trying to make it seem like I'm just a bad guy and all this stuff, won't you see?
You have a call.
Won't you see?
When he was in the hospital.
Won't you see the text message that she wrote me and said that my son was dead? What about that? Since you want to bust out talking about I love you and I want you, girl, please. Hey, let's get back. Like I was saying, can you please get this to Your Honor, please?
I gotta know what in the world you're talking about.
She said she want to show stuff about text messages, which that's probably been a brick ago, but somebody sent me a text message, which I knew it was her. She tried to make it seem like it was somebody else, but it wasn't, because she plays a lot of games. And she said that my son was dead.
These text messages do indicate that somebody was texting about a baby passing away.
Your Honor, that don't have anything to do with
lied.
me.
No.
No, I don't know anything about that.
What do you know about it?
I don't know anything about that. Kiana called me the next day saying, oh, Ricardo wants to know if his son is dead. And I let her know if something was to happen to my son, I would not let him know for the simple fact he's not there for him. He has no right to know what goes on in my son's life.
But you just said that I want you. You said that I want you. You're not doing nothing. What is you really doing?
Let's get some order. I almost can't believe I have to do this, but I need to bring in and hear from Ms. Lynch. As if the courtroom was not already in an uproar.
And bring her in, because she going to tell you.
Let the slut
Excuse
tell
me,
it like it is.
Mr. Howard.
Let the slut
Mr.
tell
Howard.
it like it is. He has no respect for her
Jerome,
anyway.
please
I would not be able to
escort
step
Ms.
in.
Lynch into the courtroom.
Your baby mother, dummy.
Oh, you know. You know it ain't.
Your Honor, this girl is a liar because if she didn't have respect for me, she would have respect for herself.
Were you guys on a break or were you together? Explain to the court what is going on.
Yes, we had broke up one time, but when we broke up, it was a week, so I really don't call that as a broke up. For one, she knew we was in a relationship. She knew that for them to get drunk, she wouldn't have respect for herself to sleep with somebody else's man.
And Mr. Howard, during that time, you were with Ms. Lynch, but you were also with Ms. Haber.
Yes.
So Ms. Haber was your best friend.
Best friend side chick.
I'm never nobody's side chick, sweetheart.
You were sleeping with both women is the bottom line.
He think
Yes.
he baby boy, Your Honor.
And at a certain point, you
dreaming?
two women were pregnant at the same time.
Yes.
You're denying Ricardo Jr. is your child, or you have doubts.
Yes, because she told me one time when she was pregnant that I wasn't the father. She done told me that you ain't none, like she say, a sperm donor and all this. I done tried everything with this girl. I done tried to put my heart out this girl. I done gave my son to you say hand me that. When they was
His mother calls my son the
brand
boy.
new and all this. I
She
put up with
calls him
all
the
of this
boy. She
stuff.
can't even respect
I put
my
up
son.
all this stuff with her because of her mouth.
It was times when he first told me, like in the beginning, he told me, he said he gonna come live with us, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, cool, what's yours?
But we
I
was
respect
on the
that.
promise
If he your son, I'm your woman, that's my son too. I'm not gonna do anything to hurt
Not
nobody's
ever.
child.
Not
That's just
ever.
me. I'm a woman. I'm gonna be a woman about math. I'm strong, I got faith, that's just how I am. So it was times when he came to the hospital, we got him clothes because she didn't have no clothes for
He
him.
had clothes.
He
You
didn't
gave
have
him
no clothes for
hand-me-downs.
him. We gave him
hand-me-downs. That's why he didn't even wear no
only a
clothes.
All the hospital
blanket.
stuff.
Yeah, she brought him out the hospital with a blanket.
He
January
had an outfit on.
What
What are you
outfit?
saying?
What outfit?
He had an outfit.
What
Let's get
outfit?
some order.
You talking about the diaper?
Let's
That's what you
get
talking
some
about?
order. Let's get some order. So, Ms. Haysbert,
Yes.
is part of your anger and your inability to just give Mr. Howard any benefit of the doubt is because you feel lied to on every level.
Yes.
Meaning from the beginning. You
Yes.
thought they were broken up, you were friends, and the next thing you know, you sleeping with them, but you find out they're really still together. Then once they still together, both you all pregnant at the same time, he's paying attention to her when she's pregnant and not paying any attention to
And
you.
she calls my phone, asking me, are you and Ricardo still messing around? She told me, I check his voicemail and text messages. You do too much, sweetheart. You
All
doing
she
too
do
much.
is harass me all day,
my
every
ring at that
day.
you pawned?
She texts me.
Gone.
Where my
Don't
ring
get
at
it
you
back.
pawned? Where my
It's
ring at?
gone. It's gone.
That
You're
was
not
some
getting
ring
it
we
back.
got to
Speaking
choose.
of the ring, I'm glad for once you brought up something I want to talk about, Mr.
She got a
Howard.
motor mouth.
The ring that you are countersuing for the value of $1,000, your
Yes.
grandmother's ring.
Yes.
You say that Miss Haysbert pawned.
What you just
Why the
did?
smirk?
Because
That's,
I
how
did.
that's what I deal with. When she
What
could've
was
let
your
me get a man.
understanding? Was it your understanding that the ring was yours?
It was because he gave it to me because he said he wanted to marry
give
me.
you nothing.
So
You tripping.
therefore,
They give you nothing.
I pawned it. It was in my
I bet you
right
give
to
you
pawn
nothing.
it.
My
Miss Haysbert.
grandmother gave me that ring.
You probably
It's
lied about
priceless.
that.
It's priceless.
You lied about
I
that.
would never lie about my
You
grandmother.
lied
She in the
about-
grave.
You're a
She gave me
liar.
that ring. You
You're a
tripping.
liar.
Look at her.
Now it's truthful. What
Look at her.
Get it under
Look
control.
at her.
The lying that you're talking about is what? What is the lie about the
I don't believe
ring?
it belonged to his grandmother for the simple fact that's the same ring he gave to Kiana first, and then he gave it to me.
You gave it to Ms. Lynch, and Ms. Lynch, you accept.
I gave it back.
You gave it back to
Yes,
him.
when I found out about this chick.
Now, Mr. Howard, you then go and give it to Miss Haysbert.
I didn't give it to her. We was doing something at the time, and
We was
you know,
not. We
she
came up to a
conversated.
doctor's
She conversated
appointment,
about ring.
and you
I kept
gave me
asking
the
for
ring.
her. She's talking to me, boo boo.
She's talking to him.
I kept asking her, can I get my ring back? Can I get my? No, I ain't doing this. Well, I left it at home. Oh, my
She
daughter wearing my room
confiscated it?
and all this.
She So you're saying that she basically stole
She
your
stole
ring.
it. Look at her. Look how she act. Look, she's smiling. It's a joke to her. Life is a big joke to her.
What the court really believes happened is when she gave you the ring back, you had an attitude. That hurt you because you wanted to be with her and not Miss Haysbert. But Miss Haysbert was your plan B. So then you went over there and found yourself, as you say, we was doing something. And as it relates to this evidence evidence here, it sounds like you were doing a lot of I love you and I love you too. That's what you were doing. So why is it that Ms. Haysbert would not think that that ring was given to her on the basis of love and a relationship or even in anticipation of marriage? If you telling her you love her. And once you give a gift, Mr. Howard, it's not revocable. You can't take it back unless she voluntarily gives it back. So she did have the right to
I did not give her no ring. That's crazy.
Judgment for the plaintiff in that. Moving on to the DNA. Now, we're first going to get the results of Ms. Lynch's child. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics in the case of Haysbert versus Howard, pertaining to 6-month-old London Howard. Mr. Howard, you are the father.
We know. Deborah, I don't sleep with everybody like Deborah do.
We're now going to hear the next results. So, Ms. Lynch, now that you know that your child was fathered by Mr. Howard, how are you going to handle if, in fact, Ms. Haysbert's child was fathered by him as well?
We're going to move forward. I'm going to continue to be with him. We're going to continue to have faith grow. We're going to build our relationship, and, yeah, we're going to move forward. He's going to take care of his son like he was trying to do in the beginning when she was not allowing him to. So, yeah.
And you're willing to encourage him on that level?
I accept him. Yes, I do.
In the case of Haysbert versus Howard, pertaining to 6-month-old Ricardo Howard Jr. Mr. Howard, you. In the case of Haysbert versus Howard, pertaining to 6-month-old Ricardo Howard Jr. Mr. Howard, you are his father.
So death do us part, boo.
All right, I'ma
so
be a
it is
man.
what it is.
I'ma be a
don't
man.
call my phone. Don't
I'ma
have
be
that
a man.
little wench over
I'ma
there
be a
call my
man.
phone
I'ma
or
be
text
a
my
man.
phone. You will never see him.
I'ma be a
Never.
man.
Ms. Haysbert, throughout this entire case, I have watched you wear the hurt on your sleeve. All this pouncing around and bouncing that hair and acting crazy. You know, I almost allowed you to do it more than I would in any other circumstance because a part of me feels for you. You know, you're living that typical homegirl life. The guy is with another girl, but he got a homegirl. And the line is too blurred between friendship and more than friendship. I don't know why. I don't know who hurt you in your past. I don't know what bad relationships you've been in or where you were in your life to where you fell for that okey doke. But you did.
You were.
And now you have a child because of it. You don't get along? Fine. But you don't keep that child away from his father. Ricardo Jr., right? So I'm going to name you after a man I'm not going to even let you see. Stop the nonsense. Are we clear?
Yes.
You've learned your lesson. Am I correct?
I did, yes.
And you need to learn yours. Quit running around with your grandmother's ring talking about who you love and who you don't love. Decide as a man who you love, commit to that woman, and develop a real relationship. I want better from all three of you. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Court is adjourned.